Hey, what's again, family? What are we doing? What are we after? Thank you very much for tuning in. This is Jony Cinco, always here with another podcast, always telling you, you can do what you can do. I believe in you. The world believes in you. Most of all, you believe in yourself. So thank you very much for keep on grinding, keeping part of, this adventure with me. And I'm part of your path. So thank you very much for allowing me, right, for you listening to this podcast to be part of your path. So thank you very much for that. Once again, let's talk about, again, I always talk about goals. I talk about grinding. I always talk about consistency, you know. And let's talk about those days. Again, I always go back to those days that we are not feeling it. I don't feel like waking up. I don't feel like grinding. I don't feel like being consistent today. You know what? Let me tell you something. There's days that we have those days. We have those days where we don't feel like today's the day. I'm here to tell you sometimes that's all right. If today we didn't get up, we didn't follow our meal prep, if today we didn't go to the gym, if today we didn't do those things that we believe was what we were meant to do, the good thing about it, that we can start all over tomorrow. So let's brush off, right? Let's say to ourselves today, today we didn't get grinding, today we didn't be consistent, today we didn't write today, we didn't type today, and that's all right. No one's gonna falter. No one is sometimes as good just to stay at zero, right? Just to stay where we're at today. We didn't go back. We didn't go fully back, right? We didn't go back to failure, right? Because don't think about today as a failure, right? Think today as that. You know what? Today was a break. But today, tomorrow, when I wake up in the morning, let's do it. And when you wake up tomorrow, right, you're gonna find yourself, wanting to do the same thing sometimes. Man, I don't want to do it today again. And I'm here to tell you, you probably can, But at the end of the day, either it's today, that was a day that you decided not to do, or tomorrow passes and you did the exact same thing. At the end of the day and the night, when you go to sleep, you got to deal with yourself, right? It isn't me. It isn't your friends and your family. It ain't anybody, co-workers. It's you. So if you look at yourself in the mirror and say, I'm okay with what you've done today, but I'm gonna get back at it. Then again, sometimes those are those days. Not every day are about progress. Some days are about recovery, right? Some days are about mobility. Some days are about just a mental a break. But let's get back to it. So I'd ask you as you take this break, you take this, let's say a little bit of lapse, a little bit of, a pause. Just press play, right? Let's get back at it. Let's get back to action. And at the end of the day, again, as you get ready to go to sleep, after the end of the day is done, the morning you wake up, boom, boom, you're back at it. You're back on your grind. You're back at your goals. You're back at getting after it. And you'll thank yourself later. So again, I'm not here to tell you that every day is one of those days, but some of those days are those days, right? So I'd ask you always believe in yourself. Believe that you have what it takes to be the best version of yourself. Your family, your friends, me particularly, always believe that you have what it takes. So keep grinding. Keep getting after it. And then tomorrow, being today, let's say it's today, guess what? Today, after you set those goals, you accomplished them. You've done more, you've done less, but you made some progress. So I always ask you, thank you for tuning in, man. Thank you for being the best version of you. I can't wait to see, the version that you wanted for yourself to come alive, right? Because everybody, right? But particularly you, can't wait for that. So keep on going. Keep on getting after it. This is Jony Cinco, always on your side. Peace. Hey, once again, this is Jony Cinco, always here, back at it with another podcast. Thank you very much for tuning in. Click like and subscribe if you like the content. Again, thank you very much, so much for being part of this. So once again, I want to say something. about the fact that sometimes, don't don't compare your path to anybody else's path. Your path is your path to get to wherever your goal is. Don't compare yourself. You know, you're gonna find yourself wanting to, and people comparing the fact that they got to their goal faster than you, but you're more mature, right? You took the time to learn that craft. But sometimes, in our grind, sometimes things do come quick. And that's a good thing too. I'm not saying it's bad. But I'm talking about those guys, and gals, soldiers, and or whatever it is that the goals that they have, um, it's gonna take some time. But you're mastering. You're mastering whatever that is, if it's wood chop, mechanic, typing, writing, gym, lifting, Olympic lifting, whatever the case may be, it takes time. Because everybody, are easily where we see nowadays where people post, the successes, the personal records, the amount of money they're making, the goals they've set for themselves. We see all that, right? But we rarely see the grind, right? Something I always love to see is sometimes, as you see these boxing or MMA or even, the track marathons, you see all those, or the documentaries of how this person climbed, Mount Everest. You see all those different documentaries, you see all these different, like these 24/7s, whatever it is, man. But you find yourself, one, they had a coach, one, they had mentors, some had, experience, they went out there. Some people, did it on their own, went on YouTube and looked at, how-tos. And little by little, right, they became masters. And some people, they have opportunities that some people don't have, and that one might not have. But guess what? Your path again is your path. And so don't be upset that somebody got it faster, or somebody got it quicker, or somebody has the same amount of time, but for some reason they might have a certain edge on you. Your path is your path. So whatever that your path was to get to where you're at today, it's your path. Don't compare yourself to anybody else. Don't compare yourself to how they got there. Opportunities came, if it was timing, if it was good luck, whatever the case may be, you're satisfied with the amount of work that you've done to get to where you're at. So once again, I ask you, keep on grinding, keep getting after it. I believe in you. You believe in yourself. Family, friends are always waiting to see exactly what version of you is today, and tomorrow, and the next day. So what I ask, always stay in that path, right? Always stay in that path. And if you got to stop for a little bit, think about it. Ask a mentor, ask a friend, ask a family member. Hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? Never in your path, as you're getting, closer to your mastery, closer to being the best version of you. Never think the fact that no one's there to help you. Because guess what? There's people out there that are willing to help. But you got to ask, right? And that's the thing, right? So again, and the more you ask the questions, the more you read, the more you study, the more you do to get after it. Guess what? You're gonna thank yourself later. So if you're in that position where and you find yourself in there, guess what? It's your path, and it's gonna be your path. It's gonna be your story. And at the end of the day, you get to tell the story the way it went for you. And everybody, sometimes, as I always say, some people will be like, man, that's your story. Man, that's a good story, right? And the story isn't written in the book. It's your life. So once again, whatever that case may be, of your path, keep grinding, keep getting after it. And again, right, this is Jony Cinco. Always believe in the fact that you're going to be the best version of you. So thank you very much for tuning in. Click like, subscribe. This is Jony Cinco. Peace. Hey, what's going on, team? Hey, thank you very much for tuning in again. This is Jony Cinco coming at you, back at you with another podcast. Thank you very much for tuning in. Click like and subscribe. I'm here for you guys, always asking you to be the best version of yourself. At the end of the day, it's about let's get to it. Let's get after it, and sometimes, it's about learning. So let's talk about learning. Let's talk about how do we learn to get something different, right? Something that we have a goal we want to learn. Guess what? Sometimes it's about picking up a book, going to Barnes and Noble, going to the library, going on YouTube, right? Going on, the Google, and asking those questions, right? Okay, how do I, create a podcast? How do I create, a vlog? How do I get better at running? How is it that I get, and sometimes, it's about coaches, right? It's about people, teaching us how to do it. So it's all right. Again, if it is about, learning something, a new craft, and you have to ask those questions, if you see a man with a camera, you be like, hey, I want to be a photographer. I see this person, taking pictures, taking videos. Let me ask him, what type of camera he got, right? What type of, what type of angles, what type of the settings that he has, right? And sometimes, Google might have it, YouTube might have that. Some people are out there, providing free content, free, information for you to use. Sometimes there's seminars. Again, invest in yourself, right? And sometimes investment in yourself isn't so much about money, it's just investing your time, because your time is valuable. So I ask of you, if you're gonna do all these different things, set your goals, set those things that you want to do. You're gonna have to study, you're gonna have to grind, you're gonna have to get after it. So once again, I tell you, if you got to pick up a book to read about, carpentry, guess what? We're going to pick that up, right? If we talk about conditioning, there's going to be many people. So what I tell you is, all this information that's out there, it's about a person, that took the time to write, took the time to post it, took the time to make the video, took the time to do, to go to school, get educated on those specific subjects that you're interested in. And they're putting it on paper. They're putting it on in internet. They're putting it on how they did it, right? And you're going to decide, what you want to take, what you need, what you need for your success, what you need to think about your path, and that's what it's about. Sometimes it's about just, and one thing I can say is all these people, right? Male, female, whatever the case may be, they took their path, right? Talking about like the previous, they took their path and they wrote it down. They took their time, and they're showing you, where you can be at. They can showing you where you can be at currently right now, right? And really, if you kind of really look at it, they're telling you the shortcut. They're telling you how they made it, how they did it. In these books, in these posts, on the internet, right? On their vlogs, on their blogs, right? Whatever the case may be, and they're telling you, this is how I did it. And use up to you to write it down, create a plan, and at the end of the day, you start to grind. So if it's 5 seconds, 5 minutes of just getting after it, again, making a decision, then taking the action, writing it down, and at the end of the day, you're gonna know. You're gonna know. You know what? This message was for me. This is what I needed to hear, or this is what I needed to listen to. This is what I needed to read. This is what I needed to study, to then get back to it. So again, this is Jony Cinco. Always believe in you. Always the fact that you're going to be the best version of you today, tomorrow, and the next day. It takes day by day. And as you build yourself, build your personality, build whoever it is that you want to be, keep grinding. I'm proud of you. If no one has said that today, I'm proud of you. I believe in you, and your family, your friends, everybody around you. And if they don't believe you, guess what? I believe in you, and that's what it's about. I believe you 100%. So again, this is Jony Cinco. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I'm always on your side. So again, keep on grinding, keep on studying, keep on mastering your craft. And this is Jony Cinco. Out. Peace. Hey, once again, this is Jony Cinco. Thank you very much. Always out here. Thank you very much for tuning in. This is click like and subscribe to Jony Cinco. Thank you very much again, once again, always for tuning in. Click like and subscribe. So what is it about, right? What is it that got us here? What is it that what is it that we're doing? You know what I'm saying? People are gonna ask that question. What are you doing? Why did it take you that long? Why? Why? Forget about all that. All right, forget about this whole why and how you do it, why you do it that way, why you're doing it that way. Guess what? You're doing that way because that's what it takes for you to be successful. So people are always gonna question, why are you doing it like this? Why are you working out every day? Why are you working out, 4 times a week? Why is it you working out 3 times a week? Why are you writing, once a day? Why are you writing 2 times a day? Why are you, why? There's always gonna be other people with opinions on what you're doing and how you can do it better. you know. And sometimes we want to sit down, listen, okay, hey, cool. If it's a bad criticism or positive criticism, you write it down. Okay, too easy. Or you take that mental note, or you get on your phone and you check, you type it on your notes, or you write it on your computer. Where the kids be, hey, thank you very much for being, interested in what I'm doing, and that's it. There's no need to block what they're saying. There might be an easier way, there might be a softer way, but at the end of the day, it's your path, right? It's your goals. It's how you're setting it for yourself. So if it takes you a little longer, hey, that's all right. If it took you a little quicker, guess what? Hey, good to go. But at the end of the day, it's your path, it's your journey. And so don't let anybody, as you're getting closer to your goals, grinding towards your goals, whatever the successes are, don't let anybody bring you down. And again, once you get back to it, right? Once you get it, and once you're grinding, and once you setting those goals up, and once you get into that point where you want to be at, you're gonna find that. You're gonna find people criticizing, good and positive. Good criticism and bad criticism. But what I ask of you always is just keep grinding, right? And it's gonna be your story. And at the end of the day, if you find yourself, when you read a book, when you read a blog, when you see a blog, when you read a blog, when you see these comments, and there might be an easier way to do things, right? But you're always trying to, find and better yourself. And it takes study, it takes time, it takes that moment of reading. So again, or studying, or looking at somebody that you believe that done right, that done right, and that's it. Write it down, jot it down. Sometimes, we need all that. We need all this different, information that's given to us. Again, goes back to, there might be those 2-3 words we needed to hear today to keep grinding. But at the end of the day, it's about you. It's about you being the best version of you for yourself, and not for me, again, not for your family. Even though they all, we all, are happy for you. It's about you. It's about you being the best version of you, and I believe in you. So thank you very much. Always, keep on grinding. Click like and subscribe in this, because again, I want to see your progress. I want to see what is it that your goal was, and how you little by little chipped away at that goal, and you got there, right? Because again, I can tell you, per personal experience, it's chipping away at things. It's getting better at things. It's getting up every day. It's setting up those consistencies, setting up those routines. And every time those goals I set for myself, and I seen that I was able to accomplish, I was glad at it. I was glad at the fact that I was able to get there. And then my path and my story was my story. So I can tell you personal experience. That's how it's been for me. And I'm sure it's going to be there for you. And, if it took you harder, took you less time, whatever the case may be, you're going to thank yourself. So once again, this is Jony Cinco, always believing in you. Keep grinding, keep getting after it. This is Jony Cinco. Peace. Hey, once again, this is Jony Cinco. Again, taking the 5 seconds, take those 5 minutes to get back on the grind. Get back and set your goals. Oh man, I'm here to tell you, man, once again, as you like these content, click like and subscribe. Thank you very much for tuning in, for family and friends, for everybody, man. This message is for everybody, man. Sometimes, man, you at your low point, man. Recently, I was at my lowest point, but again, in those low points that we have, we find ourselves, thinking that we ain't gonna make it. Thinking we ain't gonna, maybe today might be that last day. Maybe today might be the last grind. All I ask you, right, is keep grinding for tomorrow. Keep grinding for the next 5 seconds. Keep grinding for the next 5 minutes. I'm gonna tell you something. Sometimes as we're going through these tough times, we do want to quit. We do want to say, you know what, this ain't it. This ain't what I signed up for. This is not what I believed it to be. Don't give up. Because if you give up too soon, you might not know what it is for that success to come. There's many a time, in my life that I wanted to say, you know what, this is it. I guess this is where I'm at. This is where I want to give up. And, I'm grateful. I'm grateful, to have, good friends, good family. And these motivational videos, these things that I read, to kind of get me back on the mindset of, what, don't give up. Again, I talked about, these messages that come sometimes from just a regular documentary, something on TV, a YouTube channel. And that's the message I needed to hear. And one of those messages is, there's people observing, at work, co-workers, whatever goal you have, coaches, mentors, and they know and they see your potential. And, there's times where, in those histories of them being coaches, mentors, being teachers, being, just there for people and seeing them quit. And sometimes we don't know that 5 seconds, 5 minutes, tomorrow, that was it. That was the end of the storm. The storm was about to finish 5 seconds from now. The storm was about to finish 5 minutes from now. The storm was going to finish, today, and tomorrow was going to be a new day. So what I tell you always is, as you look at your life, look at what the situation you find yourself in, and family and friends are looking at you. What I tell you is, sometimes in the next 5 seconds, the storm's going to be over. In the next 5 minutes, the storm's going to be over. Tomorrow, right, the storm's going to be over. And sometimes, it's longer than that. But just keep going, man. Keep going. Keep going. Because at the end of the day, you're going to thank yourself always for the fact that you grinded. That you did what it took. So again, don't give up, man. Don't give up. You're going to thank yourself later. And if you're going through something like that right now, comment on me, and I'm here for you. I'm here to tell you, keep on going, man. Keep on that next step. You might be tired of carrying all this weight. You might be tired of, of the things that you're going through. But I just say is just keep on grinding. And tomorrow, the next day, and the next day. And then when you out of the hole you're in, you're out of the situation you're in, you're going to thank yourself. So what I always ask you is always keep on grinding, keep on getting after it. Thank you very much for liking and subscribing to this podcast. Thank you very much for tuning in. Again, I believe in you. Keep on grinding. In the next 5 seconds, 5 minutes, a day, whatever it takes, it's going to get better for you. This is Jony Cinco. Peace.